Hello, welcome back to my haunted library and welcome to week 1 of the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge. Now I wanted to get my video out this weekend, but I had to work all weekend, so I'm recording this on Monday. Hopefully I'll get it out at least today or tomorrow. I noticed that my friend Edie Lewis, one of my co-hosts, already is on the case with a great new video. I watched his video this morning. And my other co-hosts, Elizabeth Sagewood, D.L. Tillery, and Aphrodite Lee, may have posted something in the interim. So make sure you do check out their channels. I'll list everybody below. So yeah, I've been busy, but it's been a good time because I've been reading a lot. I actually finished 2 books that I have nothing to do with Gothic literature, well, maybe somewhat, but one does involve a castle. But I thought I would just mention 2 books that I read before the start of the new month. And this is a reread for me, one of my pure popcorn reads, because you know I love all kinds of gossip and anything I can get my hands on about the royal family. And this is something that I think I had this book years ago, and I found it again. I thought I would reread it because I just finished reading Diana's book, Diana the Real Story by Andrew Morton. And this is Sarah, the Duchess of York, My Story. A very provocative cover photo with her bare feet, and very flattering author photo. I mean, when I do my author photos, I'll get around to doing it hopefully soon. Believe me, mine will be just as flattering. So I do not fault Sarah for this. I was reading this book on the sofa and Joe walked by and he was like, "Who's that?" He did a double take and I said, "Oh, it's Fergie." And he's like, "No, it doesn't look like her." Well, actually this book came out, I think, in the 90s, after the big toe-sucking scandal thrown out of the royal family. Here's a little more of a realistic photo of her. I think she can look very glamorous, actually. I've always liked her. I like her look. I love her hair. This came out in 96 for Andrew. I'm not going to get too much into this because I want to get to other things, but it's a fun read. It's actually a little more entertaining in some ways than Diana's book. The self-examination would have been nice in Diana's book, but it is a little bit. But this kind of, it vacillates between her having a very large ego and then also being like, oh, I suck, I'm the worst at, what do you expect from a loser like me? It kind of goes back and forth with that. And just when I start to feel sorry for her a little bit, it's like, well, then I had to go to my Swiss chalet to recover from my heartbreak. And I'm like, okay. But it was fun. It's a fun read. And I came out liking her as much as I ever have. And I've always enjoyed her fashion flops. There's one look in particular. I'll try to put it here if I can find it. It's so bad it's good. It looks like Bo Peep, little Bo Peep with the blue gingham and the hat. I mean, it's kind of fabulous. I think 80s styles are starting to come back. I hope so, because we need a little bit of like dynasty glamour, or as they say it in the UK, dynasty glamour. Oh, I am working on a new slow burn Sunday. I should have that up next week. I know some people may be missing that, but it's coming. I've just been working like 7 days a week, so it kind of sucks. But what else did I read? Oh, I read a book that I've always wanted to read, and in the little library in my town, it was there, and it was kind of prophetic. So I'm like, okay, this means I'm supposed to read this book now. And that was We Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates. I remember when this book was an Oprah book club pick, which I never followed the Oprah books because I never forgave her for The Bridges of Madison County. That was the first one, and I went out and bought that book, and it was just awful. I'm sure the movie's probably just as bad. I apologize if you're a fan, but I thought that book was so dumb. So I never did the other books, but I used to watch Oprah when I got home from work, and I remember this episode. And it is a movie version with Blythe Danner and Beau Bridges. I started watching it. The movie seemed a little corny. I'll finish it, but the book is, it's devastating. It really is, if you know the story. It's an epic saga about a family in upstate New York rural town in the 70s whose the fabric of their family is completely destroyed when the teenage daughter is sexually assaulted by a classmate, and he never really gets justice. And it destroys the family from within. And that's pretty much what the story's about. I have not read a lot of Joyce Carol Oates. I read a few books of hers, and and she's written like, I don't know, 100 books, 100 novels by now. They always get under my skin or get in that paper cut just in that certain way. This one definitely did. My only criticism, I felt like it was about 100 pages too long. When it started getting into like the cat dying, I was like, I can't take it anymore. It was so painful. There's no real satisfying resolution. It's definitely literary fiction. And as I was reading it, it reminded me that I really do read a lot of trash. And maybe I do need to read a little more literary fiction once in a while, maybe once a month, just to keep that edge honed. Because, that book was really excellent. And it was falling apart as I was reading it because it was the actual Oprah Book Club book, which came out in the late 90s or mid 90s. And the pages were falling out as I was reading it. And there was something fitting about that. And when I was done, I just threw it in the trash can. And yeah, it was a great read. Okay, so for this month, I'm doing something that I haven't done in a while, and that is I created a TBR. Now, how closely I'm going to stick to it, we'll see. But I thought it was fun just to kind of create a reading plan for myself. So here's what I have so far. There are 4 books that I'm trying to read for this month. And one is for Shadowed Hearts. That's one of the prompts, is to read a dark romance. So I went to the Barnes & Noble because I'm looking for one of the other prompts, which was to write in a fancy letter in pen and ink and maybe seal it with a wax seal. And usually Barnes & Noble have those kits, but they didn't have any in my Barnes & Noble. So I ended up looking for a new Gothic dark romance. And there's plenty of dark romance. There was a lot of romantasy, which I haven't really gotten into, but it's like the big genre now. But I did find a book. It says A Tale of Dark Romance right on the cover, so I thought this was a pretty good choice, and it definitely has a Gothic feel. In fact, it's called Gothikana by RuNyx. It seems like I've seen this book before or heard about it. I think this is like a YA dark romance. It looks very Gothic. I love the aesthetics of the book. Very cool. And there's like illustrations, this kind of thing. And it's not too long in case I hate it, because I haven't had the best luck with newer books of this ilk. If the pictures are anything to go by, this should be really good. And like I said, it's short, so I'm not risking too much. I don't know why I'm getting all neurotic about this book. It's just a book, so we'll see. I do like to choose a new book every year for the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge, so that's the new one. And while I was there at Barnes & Noble, I picked up a new bookmark, Poe and some ravens, because what could be more Gothic? So I'm going to start on that today. And then also on my TBR, I have Hymn of Shadows, my religious-themed Gothic story. I've already started listening to this on audiobook, and the audiobook is great. I highly recommend it. And that is The Monk by Matthew Gregory Lewis, which was written in 1796. So that was a very long time ago. I did a video about The Monk. We'll put it here. I forget which side it goes on. A few years ago. And I'm listening to it again this time, and I'm loving it. It's so great. So that is my choice for religious-themed Gothic. So the next one is choose a book with a dark castle. So I pulled several different choices. I'm still trying to get through The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe. As you can see, it's very long. I started this last year and I bailed, but I'm going to try this again. And the other book is short, but I pulled a couple others that look really intriguing from my own shelf, and I'll do close-ups of all of them. But this one is Dragon Wick by Anne Seton. Cool cover. And then these 3 are other choices. So these are Zebra Gothics, 1990. I found these in a used bookstore, and I have a few of them, but I grabbed up all of them. These are both by Clara Wimberly. The Ghostly Screams of Stormhaven. Very cool cover. And this one is The Emerald Tears of Foxfire Manor. And this one kind of jumped off the shelf at me. that would fit this prompt as well, with a little bit of a different edge to it. This is Victoria Holt's The House of a Thousand Lanterns. I'm guessing this takes place in China. The house she had dreamed of since childhood, the house where her worst nightmares were about to come true, the House of a Thousand Lanterns, the spellbinding new novel by Victoria Holt. This takes place in Hong Kong. So I think this could be an interesting choice for that as well. So these are my book choices for the month. I don't know if I'll get through all of them, but it's nice to have a plan, and it feels good just to kind of stack them with my new bookmark and to feel excited about reading. So let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books, or if you have any other books that you plan to read for the Gothic Hearts Reading Challenge. I would love to hear your thoughts. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.